Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigations. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. Each week we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we are taking a look at the world of animation as we look at the 2020 Pixar animated film, Onward. And if you are enjoying these videos, please do hit that subscribe button. That way you will be notified each time a new video is added. But for now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, we are covering the movie Onward. This movie was released February 21st of 2020. It was directed by Dan Scanlon. It was written by Dan Scanlon, Jason Headley, and Keith Bunnan. And it was a Pixar Animation Studios production released by Walt Disney Pictures. And it had a budget of $200 million, and it had a box office return of $141 million. So this movie was developed in July of 2017 at the D23 Expo. Pixar announced a suburban fantasy world film with Dan Scanlon being the director. The film was inspired by the death of Scanlon's father when he and his brothers were young, and the relationship that they had with each other. Scanlon got into the inspiration after hearing an audio clip of his father after he'd passed away. And in 2019, Jason Headley and Keith Bunnan were hired to rewrite the screenplay to add finessing touches to it. Brandi Carlile was announced in February 2020 that she would be performing the closing credit song, Carried Me With You. So let's take a look at the cast. So we have Tom Holland, who does the voice of Ian Lightfoot, Chris Pratt, who does the voice of Barley Lightfoot, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who does the voice of Laurel Lightfoot, Octavia Spencer, who does Cory the Manticore, and Mel Rodriguez, who does Colt Bronco. In terms of the plot, in a suburban fantasy world, two teenage elf brothers, Ian and Barley Lightfoot, go on a journey to discover if there is still magic left there in order to spend one last day with their father, who died when they were too young to remember him. Like any good quest, the journey is filled with magic spells, cryptic maps, impossible obstacles, and unimaginable discoveries. When the boys' fearless mom, Laurel, realizes that her sons are missing, she teams up with the legendary winged lion Scorpio, former warrior, the Manticore, and heads off to find them. Dangerous curses aside, this was one magical day that could mean many more than any of that they have ever dreamed. So this movie, unfortunately, was affected by COVID-19. It was released in theaters just before the major shutdown, so that is one of the reasons why it didn't do a bigger box office return than it did. Onward, though, did premiere at the 70th Berlin International Film Festival, and this movie was placed on Disney Plus as kind of a makeshift way of Disney to earn kind of trust within the public after COVID-19. The movie was nominated for Best Animated Feature for the 2021 Oscars. And unfortunately, this film got into a bit of controversy because the film was banned in Arab countries, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. The reason for the ban is because of the character Spectre claiming that she is a lesbian, and that is illegal in those countries. Several countries also changed the line in the movie so that she would not be a lesbian. The character Spectre. In Russia and Egypt, the line was changed from "my girlfriend has a daughter" to "my sister has a daughter." In January 2020, some more trouble for this film. Tattoo artist Sweet Cecilia Danhard sued Disney. Danhard claimed that her unicorn-decorated van that was used for the LA Auto Show was used for Guinevere in Onward without her permission and without any compensation. Danhard wanted profit distribution of the film and infringe advertisement and merchandise that involved her van, and that would feature Guinevere in any of the merchandise. I think this settled out of court. I couldn't find any information what the ultimate verdict was of this. I can't imagine that this was successful, because again, those vans, you've seen them everywhere. They're like a dime a dozen. It's not like hers was any distinguishable. So would I recommend this movie? I think the movie is really great. It does have some plot holes. Unfortunately, the journey is a little bit staggered, and it does have its issues. Like some of the elements of the journey, like the pixie bikers, seemed a little bit tacked on, and same with the dragon towards the end seemed a little bit tacked on. Like it had no real personality. But I think the journey ultimately ends up being what is most remembered of this film. And I love the journey that Ian goes on with his father. I think Barley is one of the stronger characters in the movie. His journey, his development is really one of the strengths of the movie. And I just think, unfortunately, the world is not as strong as it could be because it seems that the world is really set for Ian and Barley, but it's not really developed for any of the other minor characters. So that's where it could use a little bit more kind of development. The relationship between Barley and Ian is really strong, and it really carries the movie. And then the ending, I'm not going to spoil it to you, is really emotional, and it's a great sense of family as well as what's important in life and being able to love those around you. So I really do recommend this movie, as I think it's a great story about family and is relatable to modern audiences. And they take something like fantasy and make it contemporary, which is sometimes hard to do. So while it does have its problems, I do really recommend this movie and think it's something that you guys should, everyone should check out, especially if you're Pixar fans. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. Please let us know in the comments what you think of the movie Onward. Did you like it or did you not like it? Please let us know. For our next episode, we are going to continue on our journey with the movies of Disney Star as we go back into deep outer space as we take a look at James Cameron's Aliens. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.